my final thought, and it's just something that I've observed recently, and I want to just see if you have any thoughts about it. Sometimes I go to theater and I especially if it's really intimate, and I'm just sort of touched by there's these people that have come here, and then there are these other people that are going to do this thing, and we're all going to pretend for a while, right? There's something beautiful about the agreement we're making, which is different than a movie. It's different from a concert. We're all just going to try to get on this boat, right?
Yep. Yep.
Does
Yep.
that idea resonate with you? I find it very moving, like that we're going to try to do this together.
It resonates with me so deeply. That's what I was talking about earlier with that there's always two plays going on. The one that we've rehearsed and are performing for you, and the one that's going on in our interaction. Because you know what it's like. You go in there and you take your seat and you look around you, and like every human being on the planet, you make some judgments about all these different people that are like, oh, this person is going to love this. This person is going to fall asleep. This person, these two are going to be arguing the whole play or whatever. And then, and then you have your own experience of watching this, but you also are watching, is this person being warmed over to this experience? Is this person managing to stay awake? What is going to happen with that person's cell phone? Because I know something is going to happen with it. You know what
Right.
I mean? Whatever this is, and um, and so your own personal experience is so influenced by all these other people around you. That's why I think this play, um, I mean, we've had wonderful audiences for it, but I love it when there's a young audience because they get very excited by the play. Um,
Interesting. What are they
um,
responding to, do you think?
well, I think the the freedom and the
Right.
sexuality of it,
Right.
I think I mean, young people have a very different attitude, I think, toward gender roles and sexuality. It's so funny because the quote unquote hippie generation are the old people of today.
Right.
And yet sometimes it's often quite surprising how conservative the hippie generation. I mean, now of course everyone of the hippie generation wasn't a hippie, so I understand that. But it is sort of like sometimes people become much more conservative. I don't know if you've noticed that.
No, it's
As
totally true. It was like that was fun for when you're young, but now it's time to get serious. It's time to make a steady living. It's time to
Right,
not be that your cute little art thing. That was
right,
fun. That sexual thing, that was fun, but it's not a life. You have to buy into these constraints. And I think this play is saying, no, you don't. No,
yeah,
you don't. And I could
you
see
know.
why that resonates with young people.
And Noel Coward never did.
Yeah.
He just settled. Yeah.
He never settled. I think that's beautiful. And then sometimes you see a play, and I have this thing of like, if it's really good or it's moving, I want everyone to know about it. I want everyone to come see it, or they need to make a movie, or somebody needs to tape it. Like, I want to hold on to it, and you can't, right?
Yeah.
And that's your
Yeah.
whole career is things that you create, and then, but you can't hold that's it, right?
Yeah, and it used to kind of hurt me that the idea of it, because you can even videotape it and it's not the same thing.
Right.
And but I remember with my grandfather was the same age as Noel Coward. They were born the same year. Um, and um, and I remember talking to him when he was 90 about and I knew nothing about this. And he said, you know, um, when I was in my 20s, I was in New York, and he saw my grandfather's an Italian immigrant. English is a second language, uh, but in the 20s, he was in New York, and he saw John Barrymore play Hamlet, which is supposedly one of the performances of the century. And and he said, I still remember everything about it. You
Wow.
know, and it's ephemeral, and yet it's not.
Right.
You know,
It feels like it
uh,
doesn't last, yet it does.